cities will crumble away, uncovering our naked souls. We'll all start singing, shouting, screaming.
Mushpost is a collective of DJs and as well as an event promotion company focused on bringing quality electronic music, period. Preferably with low end. Focus on low end and high production quality. And mainly just a means for like-minded individuals who are of completely different, disparate backgrounds to kind of push a similar culture that's happening internationally here on a local level, as well as then contribute back to it through our own individual broadcasts.
It's a group of friends that play similar music, which is bass music. It started with Nick and John, who's now gone, and they had shows after each other on WREV.
Okay, yeah.
And I think John played dubstep and Nick was getting into dubstep.
Okay.
And they became friends and started Mushpost, whatever that was at the time, and then they met up with Alex G, who he moved to New York, so it's just Nick and I now in town, but together they all started playing dubstep in the clubs.
Well, I was it kind of developed as my musical elitism developed. As I became more and more, I've always been very outspoken. I've always been very presenting my creative achievements or anything that I enjoy. And I had a friend and I who were both more or less self-proclaimed music elitists. Like, we know all these great tunes. We were burning CDs for our friends at work, and it was just constantly sharing of music. And I think the singular moment when I knew was when I got a subwoofer installed in my vehicle, my car, and I was delivering food for Leonardo's. And I pulled up to University Heights at like 1:30 in the morning, and there's just a crowd of drunk kids outside, and I think I had like bass nectar on because it's the only bass-heavy dance music I had at the time. And a spontaneous dance party kind of erupted around my vehicle. I got out, and I would never turn the system down. I pull up blasting 30. And, the system would just be bumping. I'd just roll up, and, it's just like, oh, yo, I'm so cool, what's up? Because I'm just young and an idiot. And everyone else was just wasting, like, oh, this is awesome. And just everyone got into it. And I was just like, that's when I had that first moment where I was like, here's other people who are fully enjoying the music to the degree that I am. It's not so much like I'm enjoying this music so much more than you. Let me dare try to hitch into it. No, we were on the exact same level. And that's when something kind of clicked. And so then I took the opportunity to join WREV. And even though I still know how to DJ, so at that point it was just audio collages that I was making with my friend, where he would play the CD players and I would play dollar bin vinyls and iTunes stuff, and that slowly progressed as a hobby as I was getting more and more to dance music, as I discovered that bass nectar was not the center of dance music, and illegal turning turned into this obsession of hoarding of dance music and cultural digging into music that I had no other means of accessing because it was continents away.
In high school, then like the beginning of college, I was listening to a lot of hip-hop instrumentals and electronic instrumentals that sort of had a hip-hop vibe to them, and then I met up with Nick and I started playing what I was listening to out in the clubs, and it wasn't really dance music, and I started listening to more dance music through Mushpost and what those guys were showing me, and I started getting really into it. So now I listen to both. I primarily play more bass music and dance music out, but I still do listen to other stuff. That record collection's been cooking since freshman year. And a lot of that, I started listening to hip-hop in middle school. I got into what the producers were sampling and making beats with, and started just buying records sort of for that reason. And then it became more, I actually like the music that they're sampling, and now it's just, I like jazz a lot, and you can't find a lot of that on MP3.
I can't say there's a singular aesthetic. I think that's why we even tried staying away from like the term bass music in our description. It's just, or at least that's why we just try to say, you know, a bunch of DJs trying to promote compelling music, is that, you know, I've dropped tunes in my set that would not fit in with other music in other DJ set, and, you know, like, where you have songs that are either jazz influenced or just really experimental that may not really work, and you're trying to take advantage of that. As long as it's compelling, as if I have this, like, emotional force that makes me want to go, this is amazing. The same force that goes, like, I have to post this on Facebook, is the same sense of, like, I have to play this out for people. It's just compelling music, underlined, and period, and that's it.
Together, as long as they're willing, we're gonna have fun. I think a lot of kids, I shouldn't say kids, just DJs in general, get on stage and they either have a planned set or they have a way they want their set to go. And, you know, I used to be like that, but now I sort of get up there and, you know, I don't like to plan anything out. I like to let the feeling take control, and so, you know, whatever I think the room is going to feel, I start playing it, and if they respond, that's, you know, a beautiful thing.
You know, unless I'm booked for a specific theme or style for that night, it's hard-pressed for me to stick to one specific style in a set. I need to build a narrative, and the only way I can build a narrative is by bringing in different elements of what is relatively the same story, which is music that compels you to move, physical movement, which also makes you simultaneously wonder what is going on. If you can, there's great music, you know, they got great house and techno that's just purely mindless, where you can just lose yourself physically to it, but I want to find that realm, or expose that realm, where it physically pushes you and mentally inspires you. And so having these different elements come together is essential to build a narrative where you have someone who's telling a story from the very beginning to the very end, where you can actually have these cinematic build-ups and downs, and these, if you want, you can extrapolate love stories and moments of despair and coming of age all within an hour DJ set, which is of course abstract beyond reason, but it's just kind of my approach. There's got to be different elements. Just like when you're writing a book, you can't have 7 of the exact same characters interacting with each other. You have to have different stories coming together to create this one grand story.
It's fucking awesome. I mean, yeah. There's nothing like that to be in control of a big room, and it doesn't really matter how big the room is. You know, I've played Memorial, and the people there were really digging what we were playing, and I've played house parties with you, and that's just as fun. You know,
right,
even
yeah,
if
exactly.
it's 15 people just going nuts to whatever you're playing, that's a great feeling.
It's probably the greatest feeling in the world. I mean, nothing's better than someone who has no idea, or we can project has no idea what is really going on, and yet at the same time can feel so connected with it that they're just fully in the moment. And the best feeling is ever, like, when someone comes to me like, what song, who is this, what is this? You know, nothing bothers me more than DJs that want to hide their track lists or, like, not share it with people, because the whole point of DJing is to, I have this awesome music, like, you may or may not know about it, but let's enjoy it together. And if you can take away from that where you want it, then you have this compulsion to go share with others, that is the win. Which I think is why ultimately, like, I've strained to be a DJ's DJ. I want the other DJs, the people who are also digging and selecting, to be like, what is this song? Or, I love this song, like, I can't believe you played it, things like that. And some of the greatest moments I've had is when I book an artist and I'll play a tune that they don't think anyone else knows about. And they'll come up to me and be like, oh, what, you know this? And so, I mean, yes, there is still the audience that I want to connect with them, and they connect. That's the greatest feeling on the earth. But nothing's better than when everyone comes together and everyone can appreciate what's going on.
It's good to see that kids, like, just kind of psyched to be doing it. I think a lot of people, and I won't mention any names, but they do it because it's cool. You know, the DJ is someone who's they're the life of the party, or I guess the one who ruins the party in some cases. But it's the cool thing to do, and so it's kind of refreshing to see some kids, even if, you know, I don't like the music they're playing, they're still just psyched.
They're just doing it for the love of, like...
Doing it for the love. Yeah. There it is.
For that one moment, it was that moment around the car.